So much power in my brothers and sisters. Ayy, so much love for my brothers and sisters.
What's up, YouTube Nation? It's your girl Tay, and I am back with yet another video or whatever. First of all, if you're new to the channel, please click that subscribe button, and right next to it you'll find a notification bell. Go ahead and click that too, so that you're notified each and every time on time when I upload a video. If you're someone who has already hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell, welcome back, fam bam. Y'all already know that I love y'all endlessly for free. Now, normally my videos I'm a little more goofy because I'm probably doing a review or something like that, but this one I may get serious. I'm not going to pretend that water might not leak from my eyes, but I'm definitely going to try not to, because I want my message to come across clearly to whoever needs to hear it. So one of the things that I pride myself on is my ability to apply and style wigs, weaves, and all that other goody good stuff. And in fact, I have a video where I'm reviewing a wig by Love Me Hair Company, which at the time was much smaller than it is now. Lo and behold, little old me, who just recorded a video to share a sale with my fellow wig lovers, would have one of the top viewed videos when you search that name in YouTube. And the link will be down below if you want to check it out. But I basically recorded a review of a Love Me hair unit. It was way cheap, but good quality. And I knew that that's typically what happens. When a wig company is small, you have like these great quality wigs for the low price because they're trying to get out there and be like, hey y'all, hey. I've even had people face to face tell me how well I style the wigs. Like, I'll buy wigs and it'll look like other people's natural hair, and they're like, you style the wig better than I can style my hair. And you know, I'm always flattered. They ask me how I learned, because you know, they'll be like, I never really had a passion for doing hair, so it's just not in me. And I'd be like, I didn't either. And they'd be like, what? And I'd be like, yeah, I learned through YouTube. So at the time, I was stationed overseas in a remote location where there were not a lot of people who looked like me, and there weren't any people, or at least not to my knowledge, that knew how to take care of hair that looked like mine. I have a 4C texture, very coarse. I was in an area where 99.9% of the population had very fine hair. I'm talking about like 1C texture. I'm talking about like straight, right? And the people who did have hair like me, which I probably could have counted on one hand, they always just had braids. I didn't want braids. And part of it was because braids, maintenance, and uniform, anybody in the military already know that that's not easy, trying to stick that in a bun. But I just was like, I don't want braids, but there's no one here to do my hair, and I want to be able to do my hair. So you start out small, getting those beauty supply store wigs, then you move on up to AliExpress when you think you're doing something. You start buying your virgin hair wigs, and it just took a lot of videos and a lot of practice, and then boom, there I was. So when people tell me stuff, you know, I give them the story of how I learned how to do hair. And when people tell me, oh, I could never do that, I don't have the patience, I don't have the drive, so on and so forth, I have to be honest with them and let them know my motivation. Now, one, yes, my motivation was there wasn't anybody around to do my hair. So it was either learn how to do it or don't have your hair done. Wasn't gonna let that happen. But the second and probably most prominent reason was because I needed to find ways to cover up my dirty little secret. So I perfected a craft that I could use to cover my imperfections. And I don't mean perfected it like, oh, I think I'm the best thing out here. I just mean like I had to find a way to master it in a way that worked for me. So they're like, you know, what do you mean? Well, everybody, for those of you who don't know, I suffer from alopecia. And you're probably like, what? So there are multiple types of alopecia, and then with the type I have, there are subtypes. Well, depending on who you ask at this point, alopecia is well known, much more well known than it was back in the day. Now, I first discovered, I won't say I discovered because I didn't know. I first started experiencing alopecia at a very young age. With my adoptive mother being a cosmetologist, she would always be trying to figure out things and try ways to get my hair to grow, because it would just randomly fall out. There's no real rhyme or reason behind it. It just falls out, and then it would grow back, and then it would fall back out. And sometimes it would be a small probably like the size of a silver dollar or 2 quarters. And then sometimes it would take the whole side of my head out. So the type of alopecia I have, hear me out before y'all get ready to diagnose me in the comments, because I already know it's coming, because I get it all the time. But the type I have has nothing to do with me wearing wigs and weaves or braiding my hair too tight or anything like that. It's genetic. I have an autoimmune disorder. I have alopecia areata, and in a nutshell, what happens is, because I have the autoimmune disorder, my body perceives the hair follicles as something damaging, the same way your body would view a virus. So what it does is, it attacks the hair follicles, choking it until it dies and falls out. And then my body's like, oh cool, the thread is gone. But the thread is my hair. So it's not curable, and they don't even know what triggers it. They have assumptions, but there's no definite, no, this is what makes your alopecia react. And as a kid, it wasn't as bad. I lived in a small town where we all watched each other grow up, so I won't pretend like, oh, I was bullied, but things are different now. You didn't have the internet back then. You had it, but it was that AOL dial-up. But you had the internet, but there weren't memes, Instagram, Facebook, and all of these things that people could use to publicly and repeatedly tear you down. So I made this video to reach out to people. I won't even just say women, but I can speak to the feminine experience, who are suffering from this and who feel like they have to hide who they are, or like they're less than a person because they suffer from hair loss. Now, again, I have alopecia areata, but there's different subcomponents to that, again, depending on who you ask. I've seen so many medical opinions, I don't even know. Before anyone asks, how do I know which one I have, I went and had a biopsy. They cut out my scalp and put it under a microscope and did their dermatologist thing. It was like, boop, boop, that's what it is. I have alopecia areata with the subcomponent, I think it's called like patchy persistent, meaning it's gonna keep coming back. There's nothing I can do about it, and I just lose huge patches of hair. So like I said, I lose it on the sides of my head, and I don't know what's triggering it. There's no cure for it, and the treatments consist of Rogaine, obviously, corticosteroids, and what else? I know one of them is you can get injections in your head. No thank you. So people have said, oh, why don't you get a hair transplant? I don't have the type of baldness where, oh, my hair just fell out. It's an autoimmune disorder, so even if I get a hair transplant, my body is still gonna see my hair as a threat and it's gonna attack it. So how do I handle it? Well, first and foremost, I need everybody out there to know that this isn't just a physical thing. Like, oh, throw on a wig, throw on a scarf, throw on a hat. It's not. It's emotional. Imagine, as a woman, 1 week you got a full head of hair, and then for like 6 months you don't. That's painful, and it took me a long time to get where I'm at right now to even be able to be this vulnerable with people. And I've done a video similar to it, but there were certain mechanisms I had in place to protect myself. I'm just going to throw this out there. I'm pretty sure that the pictures I post could end up on somebody's meme making fun of, oh, when she takes her wig off, or what y'all look like under y'all wig, and all of the other stuff. I don't care. I just want to help people like me who felt the same things I felt. I literally, let me tell y'all how deep the emotional impact of my alopecia ran. I was in toxic relationships simply because I was complacent. And you're probably like, well, everybody does that. No, complacent in the fact that, okay, finally I can find somebody, or I have somebody who has seen me struggling with my alopecia and they still want to be here. That's all people had to do to gain my loyalty. If you still want to mess with me after knowing I'm bald-headed, oh, then you must be a keeper. People would be trash. Throw the whole partner away. But I found security in you accepting me and settling for me, knowing that I didn't fit a beauty standard. So it would be no different than someone who struggles with eating disorders or obesity, or if they have some type of disability. It'd be no different. I literally was in situationships where, and we speaking romantically and platonic at this point, where people didn't mean me well. But I felt like, listen, I'm ugly and bald-headed, so if you still want to stay with me after that, then I'm good. Now, new Tay knows better. I'm still fine without my wig. But it took me a long time to get here. It took me a long time. I even used to isolate myself because I would have moments where I'm like, I don't feel like wearing a wig right now. I don't, it's uncomfortable. I don't want to do it. And I don't want people to see my alopecia, so I guess I'm just not going to go anywhere or do anything. That was eons ago. Now I just stay in my house because I enjoy my own company and most other humans get on my nerves. But all of that was attributed to my alopecia. Again, there's no cure. So I'm having this for the rest of my life, period. If I get a transplant, my hair is still going to fall out. So you have to work on you and find ways to build your confidence in such a way that you're not sitting in the house for weeks at a time because you don't want anybody to see. Or you're not constantly having to keep your hair. Imagine it being like 90 degrees in the summertime and you got to keep a hair hat on because you don't want people to see that your hair fell out. Boy. So those are things that I dealt with. I literally felt that one element about myself, my alopecia, something I had no control over. It's an autoimmune disorder. I can take all the vitamins in the world, and I've tried. I can go straight raw veganism, and I've tried. I've tried to stay stress-free, all of that. And my immune system still does what it wants. I have yet to discover what the trigger is. I've taken anti-inflammatory drugs. It just does it. And I had to reach a point in my life where I just said, you know what? This is no longer going to control me. It's not going anywhere. I'm not going to keep settling for not nice people. I'm not going to keep breaking myself down thinking that one... Y'all, I didn't care how good of a person I was. I didn't care about any of the good things I had done. I just knew based on how the internet goes off on people about not having edges and being bald-headed that nobody was going to want me. Imagine feeling like because something you can't control, nobody's going to want to love you. I felt like people be like, oh my gosh, you're so pretty. When I looked in the mirror, I saw a monster. And I would get so excited when my hair would grow back, and then when it fell out, I would be devastated. So, well, I told y'all I wasn't gonna let my eyes leak. Bring it back. So, I had to take control of the situation. Don't get me wrong, I still try to practice, for the most part, not all the time, healthy dietary practices. I definitely take all of my supplements. I drink water, I mind my business, I get sleep, and I try to stay stress-free. But it's here, and I'm still beautiful. You're probably like, well, if you're so empowered and you're not afraid, why are you sitting here doing this video with the wig on? Listen, I already thought about that. So what I'm gonna do is show y'all the state of my alopecia right now. Now, to me, it's doing much better than it's been doing the last few months. So I don't know what I'm doing right. I don't even know if it's that I'm doing something right, but my immune system is kind of chilling. Now, give me a pass. I shaved my hair, but I'm not a barber. That's one thing I didn't watch YouTube videos on. Don't talk about my shape up. But here we are, y'all. Boom. This is my alopecia. This is what it's looking like today. Don't come for my shape up. I don't know how to do a clean fade. And I did that to empower y'all because people could take this video, do what they want, make fun of me. I already know they're gonna do it. People want to go viral so bad at other people's expenses. And guess what, y'all? At the end of the day, if people don't want to love you for who you are, and they let something as silly as a cosmetic defect according to the flawed superficial societal standards determine whether or not they want to associate with you, let them go. Consider the trash taking itself out. You are beautiful, whether you're big, skinny, short, tall, light, dark. But in order for other people to love you, you have to love you. And with that, y'all, I love y'all so much for free. Feel free to share this video, and I honestly hope to inspire someone, because I stayed in a dark place for a long time struggling with this. Something that's crazy, something so superficial. I struggled so long, but I'm free. I love y'all. Peace.